Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Speed Build Sunday. I love speed builds, they're my favorites, so I love recording these and I love building them. So this is of course a real house, and I'm going to put a picture here for you guys to see too, of the inspiration that we're doing. So not a totally long one, but yeah, just so you guys can see that. Again, this is a real house. If you haven't watched any of my other speed builds or heard me talk about it, I do build houses that exist in real life. They're to be built. I live in Utah, so it's a traditional house that's going to be built in the city that I live in. So there's a few things I change. I'm sure as you noticed from the picture, I don't put a garage because we don't have a garage in The Sims, so I feel like it doesn't make sense to make a fake one. I feel like it's a waste of space. I usually add the master bedroom on the first floor, which I know sounds weird, but it's actually pretty common here in Utah. So it may seem weird other places, but I don't know if other places around the world do the same thing where the master bedroom is on the bottom level, but they do that here in Utah. So I decided I always usually put the master bedroom there to take up the space for the garage, and that's why my houses always have like 4 to 5 bedrooms, which is quite a lot for a 30 by 20 lot, but that's because I do have that bedroom downstairs. So yeah, this is a pretty, it's not the favorite one I've done. I don't personally totally love this style, but I was just building it off of what it looks like from the outside and then trying to do different types of color palettes on the inside. I'm sure as you know, I love the Parenthood game pack, so I use a lot of the stuff that's basically been my kitchens. I'll probably do that until I get sick of it, to be honest. So I just love those like tiles, the backsplash that comes with it, and I'm determined to use it in like every color. Probably won't though, because there's a pink one, and I mean I love pink, but I just feel like that would look a little silly in a house. But anyways, so enough about the build. I am going to tell you a story today. And this is a story from my middle school days, which was forever ago. If you don't know, I'm 24. I'll be 25 this year, which is scary to say. I just can't believe it. So I was in middle school a long time ago. I mean, what was that? Like 2000... that would have been like 2006, like 2005-ish, which I mean, that's so long ago. I can't even. Anyways, so when I was in middle school, I basically this happened in 7th grade, and in 7th grade, I really was shy. I don't know. I was shy, but I just didn't really care a lot about like fitting in either. I don't know. I just didn't really care. I'm not a very social person in the first place. I'm in the middle of being extroverted and introverted, I would say. So, I like have close friends and I like doing things with them, but I'm mostly a homebody, and I don't like going to parties or anything like that. It's more stressful for me. So I don't have a large group of friends or anything like that. It's just a few here and there, I'm very selective on the people I'm friends with, for a lot of different reasons, and that's something I could talk about later. But, the type of friends I've gone through. So in 7th grade, I didn't really care about fitting in that much. I was actually still playing with toys, with Bratz dolls, like mid 7th grade. I just didn't want to grow up. Like, I didn't care about wearing makeup or anything like that. It just wasn't important to me like it was everybody else. But I do have an older sister, and she was in high school at the time, and I looked up to her, right? I wanted to be like her. I wanted to dress like her. I wanted to look like her. I looked up to her a lot. And, she was a classic big sister at the time. We're super close now, but we weren't so much then. We fought a lot, and I always steal her stuff, and I have some funny stories about that too, but I'll save that for another time. But basically, she used to do this hairstyle that looked like a perm. And if you don't know what a perm is, it is a like procedure that makes your hair curly. Not like pretty like beach waves, and it's not ringlets either. It's just kind of right in the middle. I don't really know how to describe it. Go look it up if you're curious, if you don't know what it is. But it used to be pretty popular in the 90s, early 2000s. And I had one when I was in elementary, but my sister didn't actually want to have to maintain one, but sometimes she liked having that like hairstyle. So she found this trick, and I have no idea where she got this from. I'd actually be curious to ask her. But she got the trick to put egg white in her hair while it was wet, and then we had a special like attachment for our hair dryer. It was called a diffuser that made her hair like that curly consistency. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but apparently, I mean, it worked, because I saw her do it a few times, and her hair was, really big and big volume, and it looked really pretty. Oh, real quick, right here, I'm just trying to decide what color palette I want to go with. So yeah, just in case you were wondering why I was like lining up all the tiles like that. But anyways, so she, her hair looked like really cute. And so obviously it worked somehow. I don't even know how that would work. The protein or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I really wanted to try it myself. So, I was super excited. I woke up early that day, and I went downstairs, and I was getting my, eggs ready. And it's just hilarious because I was just cracking them like I was going to make breakfast. So I didn't know that you were supposed to separate the yolk from the egg white. And so I'm just sitting there. I had like 2 eggs I just put in a bowl, and I'm like, okay, like time to go. So, I went upstairs, and I just washed my hair, and I just started putting the egg all over my hair, and did the diffuser. And I mean, it worked. It made my hair curly, but I guess I didn't realize that I had a egg yolk, like, yellow egg yolk in my hair. I must not have seen it. I don't know if I didn't see it, or I just didn't pay attention, or I just didn't care. I honestly don't even remember. But I remember being in art class, and this art class had all the popular girls in it. I don't know if you've ever had that situation where they're all just there at the same time. It's just like super annoying. But I didn't care about them that much. But one of them, looks at me, and she's like, "Wow, Natalie, your hair looks really cute today." Like, and I'm like, kind of sarcastic, right? And I like kind of look at her, and I remember just like being like, "Oh, thanks." And then they like turn around and start laughing, and I'm just kind of like looking around like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? And so then some kids like, you have like something yellow in your hair, like, what is that? And everyone just kind of starts laughing, and everybody's just like staring at me. I don't even know where the teacher was during this time, but I mean, it was like the whole class, right? It was like looking at me, and I'm just like, yeah, you put egg in your hair to make it look all cute and curly. And everyone just like busts out laughing, and they're like, "You put egg in your hair?" And I'm just like, yeah, ha ha ha. And I literally just remember kind of laughing it off. I don't know. I imagine some people probably would have cried. I'm surprised I did it. I probably would now, but I imagine, people would cry, or they'd be super embarrassed. I'm sure I was embarrassed, but I just kind of remember basically laughing it off and just like shrugging it off. Like, I didn't really care that much. I don't know. It's just, I didn't really care what people thought in middle school. And I mean, so me and my boyfriend met in middle school. We were middle school sweethearts, basically. We weren't dating at this time, but obviously we knew each other. And, he tells me that people that we went to middle school with still know me as the girl who put egg in her hair. And I'm just like, I laugh about it, because it's just like, I mean, we all do dumb things, right? In middle school and high school. It's kind of like when something embarrassing happens, your mom tells you, "Oh, it will pass and people will forget about it. It's not going to be embarrassing forever." And, most of the time I think that's true. Like, if you say something dumb in class, or you fall down on stage, or you fart in class, right? That's never happened to me, luckily. I think that would be way embarrassing. I actually have like a little bit of anxiety about if I like did fart in like public, like how I would react to that. I just don't know what I would do. It's gross, but I mean, it's one of those things, right? Where it's just like, to me, that's such a private thing that I actually think I would be pretty freaked out about that, but not about having egg in my hair. I don't know. So you would think that kids would forget about this. Like, it wasn't, to me, if that's not that embarrassing. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe to some people that is embarrassing. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just not like, I don't know, like, I kind of laugh about it. If that happened to somebody else, I would just like laugh about it now, and I don't know if I would really be that embarrassed for them. I don't know, am I wrong? Like, you guys let me know if you were in that situation, if you would be embarrassed if that happened to you. I don't know. So, I don't talk to anybody from middle school anymore, so I don't know if some people still remember this or like what the case is. But basically that was at least the most embarrassing thing I can remember that's happened to me. I'm sure there's been other stuff that's happened to me and I just don't remember. I don't really get embarrassed that easily, and I guess that is because I do care, what people think on a certain level, but more on a professional level, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care if people don't like me, I guess, because there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like you no matter what. I'm a very kind person. I'm really nice, but I am shy, so I think people's first impressions sometimes of me can be that I'm stuck up, but I'm really not. I am a pretty kind person, but I know there's people that I work with at my job that don't like me, and I've never actually talked to them. But it's kind of one of those things where you just know they don't like you, because there's been times I've said hi to these people and they just like kind of give me that like dirty look, or like look me up and down and just like, yeah, hi, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not stupid. I can read people's emotions, and so it's like, I'm just sitting here like, I've never actually talked to you besides saying hi, so why could you possibly not like me, right? But there's always going to be somebody who doesn't, no matter what you do. If you do bad things, if you do good things, there's always going to be someone who doesn't like you. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't care that, these people don't like me. I care if people see me in an unprofessional way, right? Like, I've done stupid, immature things when I was a teenager, and, if any of that got recorded or anything like that, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, is it Tana Mongeau or whatever? I don't watch her, but I saw that, she kind of blew up, and it's just like, a lot of the stuff that, she's kind of hated on for is stuff that, she said when she was a dumb teenager, which she is still a teenager, but, she would say kind of bad words and dumb things. But, she had that stuff recorded, right? And it's just like, that would be really embarrassing for me if that ever, like, if I had something like that and it came out. I don't. But if I did, that is more embarrassing to me than, like, farting in class, right? Because it's just like, I guess it's more your reputation, which is worse to me if people don't like you because of a reputation. I don't know if that makes sense. So, I guess that's kind of how I am. As far as caring what people think about me, I think I learned that at a young age. In elementary school, I had a lot of bullying, I guess. I wouldn't call it bullying. I'd call it more teasing. But I had a crush on this kid when I was in elementary, and his name was Spencer. I won't say his last name, but I was like in love with him. And here's the thing is, I would go up to everybody, like his friends, like, right? It's not like I would like put a note in his notebook and say like, oh, love you from anonymous. Like, no, I would go up to him in person when his friends were around, when my friends were around, our classmates, and I would say, here you go, I love you. Like, and just give him this like freaking Valentine or something that I made. I don't even remember now. And he would literally just be like, ew, gross, go away, like, don't talk to me, just classic, like, elementary boy stuff. And I just remember being like, okay, bye, like, and just, like, running away into the, playground and just, like, doing my own thing. And, I willingly did that. It's not like I was exposed, and they're like, oh, Natalie has a crush on Spencer. Like, no, I gladly, like, told him I have a crush on you, like, and it's like, I just remember not caring at all. Like, I was like, okay, bye. And it's like, I also had I have really bad eyesight, and I've had glasses since I was like a year old. I wear contacts now, but I have lazy eye. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. I don't really want to describe it too much, but it's corrected just in case you do look it up and you think that, you know, my eye is like weird. It's not. Excuse me, sorry. So I had glasses as a kid, and back then they didn't really have the technology to have glasses be thin because I needed such a strong prescription in my glasses to be able to see, because I'm also farsighted. So my prescription was really strong, and it made the glass like on my glasses really thick. So my glasses were like the size of half of my face, and my frames were like the glass like made my eyes magnify, so it looked like my eyes were like huge. So kids would call me like bug eyes, and, you know, just like make fun of me and like call me a nerd and that kind of stuff for my glasses. And, you know, some kids that's hard. I think it depends on your personality. It's funny because I try to like determine where I got this thing like not caring from, you know, because that's kind of a form of bullying, right? And that would really break down some people, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're weak or anything. It's just people handle things differently. But it's just interesting where I got this from, because my mom is a very she's very social, and she's basically a people pleaser. And so I'm somewhat like that, but not as much. She's a lot more social than I am, and she like definitely cares what people think, you know. And so I didn't get that from her. Maybe my dad, I guess. He doesn't really care what people think about him, I guess. So maybe from him. I don't know. I remember like not even telling my mom that kids were picking on me at school. I just didn't really care. I really don't know where I got that from. But so, that happened, you know, in elementary. And so I think when, you know, I got to middle school, I started to care a little bit more, right, about what people thought about me, because I did start wearing makeup and stuff like that, but still not caring enough to try to please people, if that makes sense. So you would think, you know, being in middle school, you're a little more vulnerable in general because you're trying to, you know, match your peers, that kind of stuff. But I just, I think I had, I don't want to say a thick skin, but I just think I had the experience young, and I kind of knew that stuff didn't bother me, so I just kind of brushed it off. I don't know, it just makes me laugh because I've talked about it with my family like over the years, and, you know, my sister's like, that's so sad, like that's horrible, like you were bullied, you know, it sounds so bad to her, and I'm just like, I just didn't really care. You know, I just didn't really care. I don't know. It's interesting. This is exactly why I'm studying like child development, because I think it's pretty fascinating that different kids react to stuff differently, and that can be genetics, that can be the way they were brought up, that can be the way they handle their emotions. Because my niece, who she's 6 right now, or is she? Yeah, she's 6. She's 6. So she's a very emotional girl, but she's very mature emotionally for her age, if that makes sense. Like, she's able to sense a lot of her what she's feeling, basically. And oh, real quick, so sorry. If you see, I've kind of jumped upstairs. I lost the footage of me decorating the other room, so sorry about that. This whole speed build is like 4 whole parts, so I don't know what happened. It got cut and it got deleted, so sorry about that, but there's screenshots so you can see it. But anyways, so I know she's going to be in kindergarten, but, you know, or first grade. Sorry, I'm like losing track of time. But she has a hard time, you know, with kids who don't want to play with her because she is more of an emotional person, emotional kid. And, you know, it's pretty fascinating that, you know, they're different, because my other niece, who's her sister, who is 2 years younger than her, I feel like she really doesn't care what people think about her. She's a little too young to be in a social environment, but she's just not really as emotional. So it's pretty fascinating. So that's why I've really decided to study child development, because I just love seeing why people react the way they do, but more specifically in children, because the things you do as a kid and the things that happen to you as a kid affect you throughout your whole life. And people don't realize that, but they really do. So yeah, I mean, I'll always probably talk about, my school and how interested I am in what I'm studying. But yeah, so basically that was my embarrassing story, and now you're getting to know a little bit more about me. But this is basically the end of the build, and so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did enjoy the inside. I don't enjoy the color palette so much on the outside, but you guys can change anything you want. Of course, it is on the gallery under my origin ID, which is Nhaaga. It's the same as it is here. And, I have a lot of houses on there that I've built throughout the months. So feel free to look through that if you're interested in seeing some of my other builds. It's kind of fun to actually see how much I've gotten better at building since I first started building my first house, basically. So I do have screenshots at the end of each room. Again, sorry that footage got cut off. You can kind of see the rooms, but I mean, they're pretty cute. It's just decorating, right? You'll be able to see a lot of more speed builds on my channel from here on out. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.